Hello guys, Star Wars King here. This is a bit of a different video than I normally make, but I just felt like I feel really inspired to make something like this. I don't know if whoever's watching this knows this, but in the Star Wars community, ever since Disney bought Star Wars, there's been a lot of people who argue and say mean stuff to other people and say bad things about Disney and the people who work there and how no work went into any Disney Star Wars stuff. And, that might be true, but, and and I don't think I don't think that's okay for people, and I don't want people to be so negative about Star Wars. I want people to love it and be just as positive about it as I am. Like I love Star Wars. I pretty much always have. And it makes me sad to see so many people, because, like, let's say they don't like the sequels, the Force Awakens, Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, episode 7, 8, 9, that it causes them to stop liking Star Wars, or at least stop liking it as much. And I just think that's really sad. So I just kind of wanted to just talk about stuff like that. The well, I guess I'm gonna divide this video into four different four different segments. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is a kind of a defense of the people working at Disney and currently working at Lucasfilm, and just how, like, if they saw something that somebody said about them, probably how bad that makes them feel. Like, a lot of people blame Disney for what they call the fall of Star Wars and why to them it is bad now. And I've also heard a lot of people say online that no work is put into, let's say, the sequels, or no work was put into The Mandalorian, Season 7 of The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, basically any Star Wars Disney thing does. And I just don't think that's true. I think that there's a bunch of really talented people, individuals, who really try to provide good Star Wars movies, content, shows, And I don't think it's fair to them that some people, I'm not going to say any names or videos or anything like that, just some people I have heard say. I don't think it's fair of you to say that no work went into them, because people like you and me and them put work into it. And part of the reason they made them was so we can enjoy them. And it's pretty ungrateful to say that these people are bad and that they didn't put any work into it. I don't think it's fair to say that these people didn't put any work into making sequels or Rebels or whatever, or that, like, it was just a money thing, which, it very well could have just been a money thing, but I'm sure, I'm almost positive that there was at least a couple of people, if not most, who just really just wanted to make a cool thing, and get paid, but it is their job. Like I said, I'm not like calling out anybody in particular. I just say I do know that some people do this, and like you do it like it's if you stop, like it's fine, like water under the bridge, but just try not to, you know. And that goes for me too. For the second part of this video, I just wanted to say how by just arguing online or even in real life about what is good about Star Wars and what is bad about it, it's perfectly fine to and normal to just discuss things and talk about, oh, I like this, oh yeah, that's cool. I like this, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, I didn't really like this. Yeah, I liked it, but it's okay if you don't, like that. Like, it's perfectly okay to discuss and talk about it, but when you start arguing and start doing this back and forth thing and saying no, I'm right, but just this endless back and forth, this just arguing endlessly, it doesn't do you or me or anybody else any good to just argue and to have this negative mindset, because Star Wars has meant, and I'll go into this later on, but Star Wars and movies and even narratives and stories and characters in general, overall, no matter what fandom or community you're from, are supposed to be enjoying. They're supposed to be a positive thing. They're supposed to, maybe if, help us relax, They're supposed to be fun. And arguing about it and being so negative about, let's say, if you let not liking, let's say, the prequels ruin your experience with Star Wars, that's kind of, that's sad, if somebody does that. And if there is anybody like that, I just hope that they can kind of learn to love Star Wars again. It's supposed to be a positive thing. A lot of people don't see it like that anymore, just because of whether by their own doing or by somebody else's doing, they're so negative about it. And just if you're listening to this and you're thinking oh, I do that, and I do that too, about, not really about Star Wars, but about other fandoms, I can get pretty negative, and that makes me not enjoy it as much. And I'm whoa, I probably shouldn't do that for my own benefit. And I think that if you're listening to this and you're saying oh, that's me, I do this, then it might help just just try to work on it. I think it'll be your own interest. This third segment is more of just, it isn't really just for Star Wars. This can really be applied to anything, not even fandom even. This could be for music or food or sports. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that it's bad necessarily. For example, let's say you do not like Rey from the sequels, the main character of the sequels. You don't like Rey because, and you could have very good reasons. You could just simply say, I just don't like Rey as a character, But just because you feel a certain way, or because you don't enjoy something, that doesn't mean it's okay to tell other people no, you have to not like this, or you have to like this. In my own life, I'm guilty of that too. Not once again, not really with Star Wars, but with other fandoms or like music. Like, I'm like, well, like, why do you like that? You know, like, you should kind of like what I like better. You know, not I'm paraphrasing, but um, you know, and that could be like, I've had people say things about things that I really enjoy, and that makes me feel like, oh, well, I kind of feel bad about liking it now because, you know, this person keeps telling me that they don't like it and that it's bad. And so just remember that something that you receive enjoyment from, another person isn't going to receive enjoyment from, and that's perfectly okay. And it's not your job to convince them to like whatever you like or to hate whatever you hate, because it's like taste buds. Everybody's taste buds is different. Or sorry, is everybody's taste buds are different. You might like pizza but not like hot dogs, but another person would like hot dogs but not like pizza, and it's okay. You know, we're meant to be different. And you know, I just that just kind of summarizes what I think about people just doing that. And like, you know, I know it, like, people say stuff like that to me and I'm like, oh, but so just, you know, like, once again, like with the last one, like, if you're sitting here watching this and you're like, oh, you know, like, I try to do that, you know, like, just work on it, you know, no big deal. So that pretty much wraps up the third segment. Okay, this is the fourth and final segment, and I think it's, for Star Wars, it's probably the most important. It's, just love Star Wars. Just enjoy it. Like, whether you like enjoying the Clone Wars, or Rebels, or the sequels, or the prequels, or the original trilogy, or Legends, or Disney canon, or The Mandalorian, or if you like the really old Star Wars holiday special, like, if you like that, and if you like, oh, you know, I like this thing about Star Wars, then that's fine. You know, you do you. And you know, that kind of ties in what I was saying in the third segment about just let people have their own opinions and their own, let them enjoy what they want to enjoy, you know? As long as it's not like breaking the law or like hurting people or just something that isn't good. But just enjoy Star Wars. Like, just enjoy it. Like, I don't really know. Like, for the other three, I kind of had a plan of, you know, like, okay, so, you know, I'm going to explain it like this. But for this, is just enjoy Star Wars. And try to see the good in it. Like, you know, maybe if you really don't like the prequels, you know, and if that's affecting your view of Star Wars as a whole, then maybe go back and watch them and try to focus on some of the good parts of them. And, you know, some people might say, you know, like, well, there isn't any good parts of the prequels. But I don't really think, like, if you really looked and just putting all former thoughts about it out of your mind and just looking at it as a, like, bit by bit, kind of as a whole, you will, I think you might find yourself seeing things about it that you actually like, and that saying, oh, well, this isn't really that bad. You know, I can't say that for certain, but, you know, maybe at least try. And so, if I had to summarize this entire video, you know, this is kind of a random video that, like I said, I was just inspired to make. Like, just a closing thought is kind of just love Star Wars, you know? Like, Star Wars is a really cool thing, and we're blessed that it's here with us, you know. like, how fortunate are we that we get to watch it or play it or hear it or whatever. Like, that's pretty cool. And it would just be kind of a shame if you didn't enjoy it. It would kind of be, like, that's too bad. So yeah, just love Star Wars, and that's really all I have to say. So I don't know if I'm going to get into like a regular schedule of uploading videos again. Like, I had the Destiny for Dummies series. I'm still probably going to do that down the line. But, I've taken a break from YouTube. But I think I might try to come back and maybe do something a little bit different, So, I'm Star Wars King, and these are just my thoughts on, I guess, the current state of the Star Wars fandom. Or community. So, like, if you... Like, I don't know exactly who's going to be watching this, but if you're a member of the Star Wars community watch this, then, like, just love Star Wars, okay? Like, whoever you are, just like Star Wars for Star Wars, okay? Yeah, so I guess this is the end of the video. Yeah, see ya.